Good evening to the two teachers that are going to view my clip view today. Um, as you can see, this is how I'm going to start off my clip view. This is my first sheet. It's called the haze information. What the haze information is supposed to do is that it's supposed to just give a very brief statistic overview of the haze data that I've been working on from SAS. So without further ado, I'll just jump into what's in this haze information. Most of them are just list boxes and just one calendar object and two sliders. Okay, then you have like one statistic box. But the reason why I keep it simple is because this is going to be used by the public. So I pick like how to say like the objects that are like the most user friendly, so that they can actually, because you can't expect them to actually know click view that well. So I took that into consideration. Anyways, let's just move on to the first question. So the first question says that the user is supposed to be able to receive the haze condition in any date and time possible. So as we can see here, I have a table box with PSI and date, this thing over here. And what it does is that I'm sorry, that was a misclick. What it does is that it actually incorporates the dates and the PSI into the table box, and we also have a calendar object right here. So what the user is going to do is that the user is going to click over here. He's just going to pick any date, let's say 1st October 15, and then what is going to be processed is that he'll receive the PSI that is being processed throughout the day. And yeah, this is what he's gonna get. And let's say he wants to receive one, maybe he's gonna go out at night, so he's like, okay, I want to check the PSI that was like at 1 a.m. and then he's gonna see, oh okay, the PSI that was 1 a.m, it was run like 1 2 3 4 5 6, it was run 7 times, and this is what the PSI is currently. So he's like, okay, it's 159, it's about to be unhealthy, or it's already like, yeah, it's about to be like unhealthy, so it's like he should maybe like stay in. So it's like this is what he's gonna get from this table box and this calendar object and this time list box. So since I already answered the first question, let's just move on to the second one. And the second one basically is just let me just review that. It's how am I supposed to educate the public to take precaution, right, of the haze condition. So what I've done is that I've actually went on to create the heat map. And what this heat map does is that it actually takes like the average PSI, and then after that, based on what I click on the PSI, based on what the user clicks on, it will actually go through that color code. So what I'm trying to say is that, let's say if I were to pick, like for the sake of it, let's just go all the way to 321. Okay, so let's say this user wants to know like where, let's say let's say he is living at 25th September 2015, and he wants to see if the PSI actually reaches 3 to 1, which is the highest, which is very hazardous. So he will go over to the heat map, and since he doesn't really know what's happening, I put the PSI color code right there so that he can understand what the PSI color code is. Okay, so that I'm educating him, I'm giving him precaution that, okay, it's going to appear red on the heat map, and when it appears red on the heat map, you have to understand that that's hazardous. So since that's hazardous, he should avoid that area. Basically, he should avoid Dairy Farm Road. Yeah, because that particular area has the strongest PSI concentration. Yeah, so after that, that's I believe that that's actually a really good precaution, because through click view, I think doing a text box like this is very efficient um, against objects like this, like the heat map and other charts. So since I've already answered that question, let's just move on to the next one. Let me just clear selections very quickly and just move on to the next one. And the next one is like, what is the impact of the haze on health? So what I did was I actually went on to the website that you guys gave me for the polyclinics and hospital admissions. What I did was I went on to look for data that incorporates air, and what I found was air quality, and this air quality is PM 2.5, which is which are particles that are like lesser in than 2.5 or 2.5 in diameter. And why this is dangerous, why they use PM 10, is because these particles can actually surpass your nose and actually can cause many conditions to your heart. So this is the one that we have to keep note. So what this line graph shows is that it shows us the annual mean of PM 2.5 from 2007 to 2014. As what we can see here, right, there is a spike in 2013. And if I were to go over to this sheet called health effects due to the haze, I'm trying to answer that question. I actually went on to go to data.government.sg, and I looked for the top 10 hospitalized conditions of 2013, which is the same year that there's a spike in this air pollution. So after that, interestingly, I actually went over to top 10 and I looked down at 6, and there are other heart diseases. I looked at 3, and there's that ischemic heart diseases. What does ischemic means is just another name for coronary heart disease, which means that other heart diseases which would comprise of heart attack, asthma, chronic respiratory system, or chronic respiratory attack whatsoever. So, and all of these are short-term and long-term effects of the haze, or basically breathing in too many air pollutants such as PM10 and PM2.5. So due to that, I can say that it could be correlated that due to the increment of the PM2.5 in 2013 annually, we can say that the people have suffered heart conditions due to that. So all in all, I can say that haze might affect you and give you heart conditions like asthma, chronic respiratory failure, attacks, and all those. Yeah, and I feel like these two data actually shows that. So I'll move on to what like other things my data can do. And basically, you see this average of haze statistics, max of haze statistics, I want to make it like a historical data so that we can actually look at the trends of the data, we can actually look at the patterns of the data. And this PM 2.5 trend, we can actually look at it and predict the future air pollution levels, like 2016, maybe will it go down, will it go up. So that's basically the gist of what I think my dashboard can actually answer. And I think that's all for now. Thank you for listening to my presentation of this click view. Hope you have a nice day. So see you guys.